People believe many types of robot combat cause some really great channels, but here is one to begin it all. With over almost 40 robots participating in this event, we have a lot of heat bouts, each containing 4 competitors. But without further ado, let's get to our competitors. Welcome to our first episode of Hexbots Hexbug Battlebots, where tonight a multitude of robots, big or small, will compete to see who will take home the giant nut. But without the way, let's begin with our first heat battle. Starting from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, we have Minotaur. And next, from Flint, Michigan, is Flippy. From Finland, we have Steel Wedge. And from California, Duck. Anyways, this set has a lot of hazards. For example, the main arena sometimes is a big hazard where robots can get stuck. The pulverizers, heavy hitting hammers. And finally, our main shelf, which hopefully will do really good with most control bots. And we also have a drop zone. What's that supposed to be, you're asking? We'll find out soon. So, without that out the way, let's begin. So first, you win by a knockout, you get 3 points. If you win by a judge's decision, you get 2. Lose a judge's decision, you get 1 point. Or if you're the robot that's knocked out, you get 0 points. It's that simple. The 2 robots with the highest amount of points wins. If any robot is tied, then they have to have a tiebreaker. Whoever wins will gain an extra point. And the 2 robots go on to the main bracket. Depending on how much points they have, depends on the higher seed, if not the lower seed they get. So, let's begin this heat battle with Minotaur and Flippy. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. The first battle of Hexbots is underway. Flippy with that devastating bucket scoop flipper immediately flipping Minotaur over. Minotaur, they're getting up on the rails. The pulverizer, I don't know if it's coming into action. Flippy, they're trying to flip him out the arena, it looks like. But it looks like Minotaur already has an advantage. And oh, another flip there from Flippy. And now it looks like Minotaur is going to lose a bit of control. And Flippy, they resetted that bucket scoop. They're now shoving him toward that side of the arena. And they flipped the side panel. And they think they got Minotaur incapacitated. No, wait, Minotaur is back up. And can Minotaur continue the onslaught? And Flippy shoving him onto that top panel. I think Minotaur is done. And the countdown is on for Flippy. 9, 8, or the countdown is on for Minotaur.
6,
Sorry about
5,
that. And
4,
Flippy
3,
gains 3
2,
points.
1. That is
What a victory.
knockout.
A great performance to start things off. Flippy gaining 3 points. Minotaur sadly gaining nothing. Next up, we've got Steel Wedge from Finland taking on Duck from the West. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Duck and Steel Wedge. Both robots coming underway. Steel Wedge with a nice ram-ish onto Duck. Duck, they got that lifter into position. They're trying to go for the sides, maybe, of Steel Wedge. They almost got a lift there on Steel Wedge, but now they got themselves stuck on the ramp. And now it's trying to lift Steel Wedge. But I don't think Steel Wedge... Yeah, it looks like Duck maybe experienced some issues with that lifter. It's trying to lift... Oh! Duck managed to get a good lift in on Steel Wedge. But they can't seem to flip him over. That's the main problem. And now they're trying to do it again. But I think Steel Wedge is just too heavy for that beak. And now they have a hold of Steel Wedge. That's actually kind of new. I never seen that from a robot like Duck. Duck, they back away. Steel Wedge, they got to get a grapple, or at least to... There we go, there's a good ram there from Steel Wedge. But now Duck grabbing a hold of him again with that lifter. But again, they can't really do anything. The Pulverizer dropping on Steel Wedge's face. And Duck, they're continuing their side-on assault, but I don't think they can actually flip Steel Wedge over because they're too heavy. Or I meant they're just too wide and also heavy to actually be lifted over. But oh, there's a good grapple there from Steel Wedge, managing to ram Duck. But Duck, they continue to their attack. Steel Wedge having a lot of issues. Oh, Steel Wedge, are they going to be flipped over? Oh no, Duck. They almost got Steel Wedge. That's the closest they ever been. That was even close. Now they're dragging with that Wrecking Ball. Speaking of which, we've never seen that Wrecking Ball on Steel Wedge work before. And Steel Wedge is moving. I thought it wasn't for a moment. But now Duck managed to get another lift on Steel Wedge, but I don't think Steel Wedge could even budge. Duck, it's kind of like his real-life predecessor, can't really lift anything. And now Duck, what are they doing? They're on the shelf. Or the wedge. I don't flipping know. I'm calling it I don't really know. Anyways, Duck, they're trying to grab a hold of Steel Wedge again, but Steel Wedge, I think they're probably just too heavy and wide to even be lifted over by a decent lifter from Duck. There we go. They're pushing him to the Pulverizer. Maybe they can keep him there. Or make him stationary. But no, Steel Wedge, they're still going. Somehow. For some reason, they're moving. Now they're shoved into the deck, but they're... Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have scored 3-0. Judge's decision to the winner, Duck. Well, that was, kind of expected. Now, next up, we've got Flippy versus Steel Wedge. Then it's Duck versus Minotaur. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Steel Wedge being lifted upward by Flippy. Flippy flipping him over. Oh my goodness. And I think Steel Wedge is getting back in the fight. Wow. And now they jammed Flippy's track, but Flippy is still working. And they managed to get a flip in on Steel Wedge, and I think Steel Wedge is out of the... No, Steel Wedge is still moving. Oh my goodness. But I think they flipped Steel Wedge out. And the first out of the arena has been made, folks. Flippy, what a devastating win by Flippy. And they get a KO. Cease. Now that was what I call a victory. Steel Wedge thrown out of the arena in moments. Flippy advanced with 6 points. Steel Wedge still with 1. Now it's the pointless Minotaur versus the 2-pointer Duck. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Duck versus Minotaur. Minotaur with a nice little hit, but Duck immediately getting underneath of Minotaur, exposing that ground clearance, and then also flings that top panel. Oh, Duck managing to rip a side panel off Minotaur. Minotaur, they gotta be careful. But Duck, I think they're trying to expose that ground clearance, and they are almost managing to lift him again. Minotaur, I think it's... what? It's lost that other side panel, so now its wheels are completely exposed. But to clarify, same with Duck. So that's a bit of some ironicness you've never heard from a person like me. Anyways, Minotaur, I don't think they can really do anything at this moment. Duck, I think they're liable to go to the main, or they're liable to actually go to the round of 32. This is a tough competitor in the making. And Duck continuing to lift Minotaur up and over, but Minotaur's stuck on its top panel. And another devastating win to Duck gives this foul beast a record of 5 points now. Cease. Another great victory by Duck. They now achieve with 5 points, just a point short of Flippy. They will face each other in the final moments of the heat. But first, we have the pointless Minotaur and the one-pointer Steel Wedge. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Minotaur hasn't done very well, but neither has Steel Wedge. Oh, nice hit there from Minotaur. Continuing to attack, and Minotaur shredded Steel Wedge's eyes. Ew. I don't want to see that out of a robot. Its guts all over the floor. Or its eyes mainly. Minotaur continued to go on the attack. It's now flinged that wrecking ball over. And we've also never seen the wrecking ball of Steel Wedge. But Steel Wedge, I don't think they have the control. But with that wedge, or that wrecking ball in the way, Minotaur rips the panel off. I think they're trying to get him up onto the shelf. And now, Steel Wedge, I think they're done. Minotaur gets 3 points. But I don't think it's enough. Cease. Well, Minotaur does win. However, because he is 3 or so points short of both Duck and Flippy, he sadly got to be eliminated. And don't count me out also with Steel Wedge. He's also out. But the two robots, this is just for bragging rights. We got Flippy and Duck to round out the round of 32. Or to round out this heat. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Flippy on the... going backwards. I don't know what they're doing. Duck managing to get that beak underneath Flippy, and that was a good jab there, but they gotta reset that beak, but I don't think they're gonna have enough time. Flippy flipping up, and they're out of the arena. Flippy undefeated. My goodness, a Duck. They're done. Cease. Well, that'll conclude today's fight. It has been an astonishing beginning of our round. Flippy with an astonishing 9 points, and Duck with 5 points. Minotaur with 3, and Steel Wedge with only 1. But now next up, we have Viper Shot, Ho Ho Oh No, Beta, and Thunderstrike for our next heat. We'll see you next time. This is Bonzel28 or Bonzel Robotics signing out. Thank you for watching.